Hello, 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 hello. You are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Radio Free Wall Street. Oh, my God. It has been a week. Trade wars ripping the world apart, the euro pound crashing. Oh, my God. Donald Trump's got another trade war going, this time with Turkey. And these guys are an ally in NATO. Oh, no. Does that mean they got to give back the guns? Donald Trump's out of control. He has lost his cookies as the Manafort trial goes on, and more revelations as to really what a bunch of crooked, lying, thieving scumbags his campaign manager was. It wasn't the coffee boy this time. Now, like I told you, as the volume goes up in the investigations, as Donald gets into more trouble in these cases, what does he do? He comes up with some publicity stunt or another to try to take the heat off. This time was this crazy shit with Turkey. Do you realize he started a full-blown trade war out of American pastor who the Turks released to home confinement? In that place, that's a paradisimo. I mean, he died and went to heaven. And Trump wasn't satisfied. So he's threatening trade sanctions against Turkey. Turkey, which has got an economy that is gone to shit, on the nice edge. Well, he kicked them over the cliff. At the same time, the Turkish lira crashed. The Russian ruble crashed. We had a nice little down move, finally taking us down to a lower end of profit point on our euro trade. Congratulations, euro traders. We also got a profit point on our pound trade. And we got out of the precious metals. And we're rocking and rolling and reloading to bag him again. Thank you, Donald. Donald Trump said that he had to double down on Jeff Sessions. Now, in the olden days, the kings used to keep a whipping boy. Part of that SM stuff that went on there in the medieval times when he had a bad day or after dinner, he wanted some entertainment to bring up the whipping boy, and he beat the shit out of the whipping boy, listen to him scream and cry, and then they put the whipping boy down, away when he's done, and business as usual. Well, Donald Trump has a lot of those medieval characteristics in his whipping boy, Sessions. I mean, I don't know why Sessions didn't tell him to take this job and stick it. He hasn't. And again, Donald Trump is raising the heat. He criticized Jeff Sessions for not acting to hold members of the Justice Department accountable. Whoa. Remember the loyalty pledge? I am the dictator. Hail Trump. RAG is scared stiff. Scared, I tell you. And missing in action. It's all starting to be revealed, not pretty. Donald Trump, the only thing being revealed is what a piece of shit you are, and how you colluded, and how corrupt you are, and how you had scumbags that did hundreds of millions of dollars business with Russians before your campaign, during your campaign, after the campaign. And we're getting closer every day. So what's happening is Donald Trump wants this investigation stopped now as it's getting closer to pay dirt. And you say he's losing his cookies is an understatement. And he is just raising hell, trade wars, sanctions, whatever he can do to keep this out of the news. And it's just unbelievable. About crooked Hillary and the DNC. Hillary did all this. Hillary, they're giving you a lot more credit than I am. And reality here is, and why this is such an important story, is that Trump's administration is coming unraveled. Trump is coming unglued. These court cases are going badly. They are revealing a lot of skullduggery, and they are a warning that there is huge mounting evidence about collusion, about obstruction of justice, and how with the aiding and abetting of a foreign power, the President of the United States won and shifted the election. Now, like I said, I don't give a shit, but you need to, because the markets are going to. When they figure this out, they're going to come unglued. What a money-making opportunity. I believe Donald Trump is moving vigorously, and that before the fall elections, September, October be a good time frame. Late September, early October. He wants Sessions to shut down the FBI investigation. Call off the special prosecutor. Put all the information in a box, and Donald Trump will be glad to store that data at one of his golf courses. Now, that's Donald Trump's wet dream. My opinion is that it's not going to come true. If he fires the prosecutor, or if Sessions does, it will be a constitutional crisis. People really love their country, even though they're blinded by Donald Trump or afraid of him, or both. And the reality is that when Donald Trump does this crazy shit, he's revealing himself for the corrupt leader he really is. I now am of the opinion Donald Trump's not fit to be in office. I think he's a disaster. I think he's a danger to democracy and a danger to America, a danger to everything we believe in, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a conservative, or a socialist. And my belief is that Donald is going to do something crazy. I really strongly feel that, my friends. And that's okay. We do crazy also. But my belief is between now and the end of the year, within 86 days, there will be a market crash, a constitutional crisis, and Trump is going to go off the deep end. I am telling you that he is really, really concerned about this, and he is really beating it to death on a daily basis. It is amazing. I understand that he's glued to the TV watching the coverage of this trial. I am told that, should we say, people connected are giving him detailed reports. And I can tell you that he is very, very unhappy with the testimony, very unhappy with the revelations, and he does feel that it's a threat to his presidency, a threat to his son, a threat to him, and he's acting like a guilty man, obviously. Come on, let's talk straight. This is a guy who's in left field. This is a guy who is absolutely, positively under enormous pressure and strain. Now, look, we can play all the games you want with this thing, but let's talk straight. Who gives a shit? Make a killing, get filthy rich as Donald Trump goes down, and even if he doesn't go down, he will... Let me tell you this way. Donald Trump doesn't go down, that'll be a miracle. It's possible. But while he's trying to save himself, he's destroying the economy. So it's one of these situations that you win either way it goes with this guy. The economy will not hold together. By the way, the dollar is soaring in foreign exchanges. American businesses are getting killed in foreign markets, with the dollar going higher, plus the addition of sanctions. They cannot compete. They cannot do business. Things are falling apart for them, and it gets uglier by the day. Now, how do you honestly think this is going to work out? The sanctions are growing. Now, you got Turkey there with Russia, okay? Well, Turkey has sanctions against them. Russia has sanctions with them. And the good friend Chinese have sanctions against them. Where do you think is going to happen to the Iranian oil? You don't think that Turkey and Russia and China will collude? I mean, China does a lot of colluding. Russia does a lot of colluding. Turkey's famous for colluding and corruption. Do you really think this is going to serve Donald Trump in any way? What's going to happen when the oil continues coming to market? What's going to happen as more and more countries flip Donald Trump the bird? The answer is there will be hell to pay. Trump is out of control. Now, it may be a deep state conspiracy and very clever Hillary Clinton Democrats did all this stuff, started investigations, got all this done. Whatever you want to believe. But the reality is that something has gone wrong. Something is coming apart in the Trump administration. Something has got this man very concerned. How do you think this is going to turn out? I mean, let's talk straight here, okay? Sessions, who's a coward and afraid, grows a hairy set of balls. I mean, he takes one of those concoctions from that fitness place, right? Wakes up and it's Donald Trump is my leader. I am going to end the investigation. I'm afraid of nothing. And so Sessions, like I said, he grows a hairy set of balls, shuts down the investigation. Does that really end Donald Trump's problems? How will that play out in the midterm elections? Who will blink first? Now, one thing is very true. No matter how much the Democrats say it ain't so, they will impeach him in a minute if they get the House. There will be endless investigations. And reality is that they will get the House. And there will be endless investigations. And if the Senate doesn't go the Democrats' way, which now is a 50-50 bet, there will be more Democratic seats added to the Senate, And it won't take that many more Republicans to jump ship, where Donald Trump's got him a great big problem. So my prediction is this. The elections for the House will go to the Democrats. Donald Trump will maintain a very small lead in the Senate, but as more and more revelations of his crimes come out, as the constitutional crisis where he refused to testify before a federal grand jury, as maybe Sessions, like I said, is about to grow a hairy set of balls, shuts down the investigation, fires the prosecutor, and tries to end it, constitutional crisis all over the place. Either way this goes, this is not going away nicely. This is not going to go up in a puff of angel dust and disappear. There is going to be trials, court fight, constitutional challenges, and ugly, ugly, ugly shit. This will deteriorate the economy even further. Look, Donald Trump's got us with trade wars with everybody. Donald Trump is fighting with everyone over everything, and it's kind of hard to keep track exactly what the fights are all about, except to say that he's losing them. Kim Jong-Nunchucks is doing what he wants. Do you remember North Korea with the mine melt? Woo! Well, it's wearing off. Now you got Russia, and Donald Trump's going to piss off Vladimir because he's being forced to put sanctions on them over little doorknob problems with deadly nerve gas. Now you got Turkey, where you're fighting over a pastor who's been released from a Turkish prison on home confinement, and you're talking sanctions, toppling their currency. This is not smart. You want to know why it's not smart? You say, well, that's Turkey's problem. Well, no, it's not Turkey's problem. See, the Einstein bankers, well, that Turkish debt is in dollars. And those dollars were loaned through collateralized debt obligations, structured instruments that involve dollars, involved U.S. major investment banks around the hook, involved Italian banks that need a piece of something would flow because they had to gussy up their books. This shit's all over Europe. This paper's all over the United States. Now, you've got to understand that the Russian ruble is collapsing. There's huge exposure to Russian businesses and banks by U.S. huge mega banks, again with the CDOs and all these clever little instruments. You got the Mexican peso that's getting wiped out. Again, huge amounts of Mexican debt valued in dollars. Argentina, well, down again they go. So if you look around, we are in a world debt collapse. And who holds that world debt that's going bad? Who holds debt valued in dollars where the dollar's going higher against the local currencies, making it possibly pay back? You got it, baby boomers, through funds and the investment banks. Yeah, how do you like that shit? They didn't tell you that? Oh. Yeah, well, you know what? And once it becomes a CDO, it gets to become a structured product. They don't have to reveal the minuscule details of what goes on in that paper. Now, I can tell you, having read some of those contracts and been involved in a few of them, oh, my God. I don't know. It takes a crazy supercomputer about a year to figure out what the hell happens. And in any scenario, you don't really know. The counterparties are obscure. There is no collateralization that can be found except some promissory notes. There is no accounting. There's no exchange. There is no general set of guidelines for how the options tie in with the instruments, tie in with the junk bonds, tie in with the rollovers. In other words, you don't know what you got. But now, knowing Wall Street the way I know, you got a bag full of shit. You got a filing cabinet full of crap. You got trades that will be worthless. All this house of cards kept together as long as there was damn near zero interest rate, as long as people were chasing yield, as long as bonds and U.S. Treasuries didn't give you enough of a return. That's over with. It's now time to get into U.S. Treasuries, one of the best performing instruments in the world, rallying dollar. The U.S. government will be raising rates. The rates on the 30, 60, 90-day, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year paper is going to take off. 10 year is at highs, should be bought now. 20 years at highs should be bought now. 30 years are at highs, they should be bought now. And this other paper? Well, I want you to think about this. Your paper that you are holding in the short-term U.S. government securities, okay, in the bills and the notes, will go up by 0.25% every quarter. That is 1% a year, and it'll be that for the next 2 years. So you're looking at paper that's at 2.3, 0.4, 0.5%. That's going to go at 4, 5, 6%. Oh, my God. Your return on the S&P 500 is less than 3%. The spread between the 2-year, 5-year, and 10 is 35 basis points. This is a disaster. Now you got Donald Trump running around doing trade wars. Dollar is soaring. People are buying U.S. government debt like there's no tomorrow. There's no problem. Biggest debt auction ever. Biggest amount of 1-year paper ever auctioned off. And you know what? They bought it all, bid the rate down, and were screaming for more. Why? Well, what else are you going to do? You're going to buy Italian lira? Or the peseta? Or the German mark? Because all those currencies are coming back. Yeah, all those currencies are coming back. And when they do, they will wipe out in value. Euro is already getting its ass kicked. Pound? Well, remember, you got the pound exit. The Brit exit's coming up. And I'm telling you, Germany's going to give them hell on wheels. That's not going to help the euro. That's not going to help the pound. The almighty dollar. Now, let me tell you about the people worried about the dollar. Come hell or high water, zombie invasions, come hyperinflation, which will not happen, whatever scenario you want to write, I guarantee you that U.S. debt will be paid in full on time because that's how they keep the game going. That is truly the structure. You are going to have U.S. government debt as a result of Donald Trump and that stupid-ass tax break bonanza for billionaires being 100% of GDP. 100%, okay? The debt will still be paid. So you need to understand that we're in a situation where Donald Trump's crazy shit and tax break for billionaires did not create more business, did not create more jobs, did not create more corporate taxes, did not create pay-roll bonanzas, factories opening up, nothing, did nothing. Except what? Exacerbate the budget deficit. We're going to run a $1.5 trillion deficit. We're going to have to finance it. Treasury's going short, by the way, in their financing, which is a whole other mistake that bunch of me. Mommy, he says a mistake. I'm really very smart, Mommy. Everyone told me I'm Treasury guy, and I'm the best one ever. Well, anyway, this idiot is making a shithouse mess of everything he's done. To bring back the 1 year, then write that kind of paper was a mistake. I mean, everything he touches is just incredible. You've got an administration that's like the Three Stooges. I mean, these are the clown cars here. It's unbelievable, and it's getting worse. Now, you got a Fed raising rate. You got a U.S. economy in a March slowdown. Hey, more thing here. Oh, that's so nice. You got to get hooked on green tea. Much better than medical marijuana. And cheaper, too. Anyway, you've got trade wars. You've got confrontations across the board with the Kim Yum Nunchucks. That's not over with. You now got the one with Iran. You now have got Syria up for grabs. You now got Turkey, who we need as an ally. Remember, they're members of the NATO alliance, and they are not going to respect that alliance. So you are doing crazy shit. You cannot stay in here and let this happen without backing up and saying, "Oh my God, what an opportunity! What a way to make money! What a way to take on the world!" Donald Trump is in a confrontation with everyone. Donald Trump is in a debilitating tariff war that is killing U.S. business, killing U.S. exports, and raising prices for U.S. consumers. That couldn't come at a worse time, because as you're forcing a business slowdown over trade, you're getting the effects of a business slowdown over higher interest rates. It's a double whammy. This is what depressions are made out of. Now you got this stupid shit starting arguments with our allies, trashing the NATO alliance, which Vladimir says, NATO, we don't need them anymore, no problem. Soviet Union, come on back to mommy. Everyone come back, come back, come back. Ali, Ali, all free. All former Soviet states, come back under my wing and we'll love you, baby. That's what's going on here. This is the vacuum Donald Trump's creating in power. It is the idiocy of his management and lack of skills. It is trade wars that are alienating allies we desperately need. It is trashing currency values around the world. Meaning what? American businesses cannot compete with a strong dollar. Okay? Everyone understands that. That's why the yuan is dropping in value. The ruble's dropping in value. The peso's dropping in value. And you've got currencies all around the world plunging against the dollar. Dollar goes higher, U.S. loses more market share. And as the dollar goes higher, more and more U.S. banks that have made dollar-denominated loans to third-world shitholes can't be paid back. Are you getting the picture here? This guy is destroying the economy. He's destroying the financial system. He's destroying the currency markets. Everything he touches is turning to shit. Stock market's next. So prepare yourself. Donald Trump is out of control. Why? He don't give a shit about anything except for collusion, no collusion, no collusion, no collusion. The Russians did nothing to help me win. It was the biggest landslide in American history. Oh, Donald. It is so sad the mess we've got ourselves into. It's so sad that a man who is a liar, a thief, a whoremonger, who is the most corrupt man ever to be in the White House, who is breaking all the rules. Let me tell you, your biggest fear about Donald Trump is? Your biggest fear is not if he gets impeached. Your biggest fear is if he decides he doesn't want to leave office and use executive power to stay in power. It's not so sure we'll have another election. Donald Trump is pushing the envelope, and he's doing it in a vile, disgusting way. Do not trust Donald Trump. Do not make yourself vulnerable to him. Bet against Trump. Bet against his programs. Bet against everything he does, and you'll be very, very happy. Donald Trump, again, is not going to survive this. Donald Trump is not going to prosper. Donald Trump is a big problem. He's a big problem if he gets impeached. He's a big problem if he doesn't get impeached. He's a big problem if he wins the midterms. He's a big problem if he doesn't win them. He's a big problem if he wins his second term. He's a big problem if he gets thrown out his ass. And he's even a big problem when he considers he's threatened, because who knows what he will do in executive action. You know, we've heard rumors of this and scare stories all along. I mean, I remember when it was going around some circles that Obama Muhammad wasn't going to leave office. We knew he would. But when you hear these scare stories about Donald Trump, they have a certain degree of credibility. This is a dangerous guy. As you are seeing, he's going off half-cocked. He's attacking everyone. He has no friends. He has no allies. He has no partners. He has no confidants. He is absolutely, in his brain, going crazy. He is so possessed by this probe. Now, why would he be? Only if he's guilty, right? Why all these games with Giuliani? Go testify. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. Go tell the man. Sit down there and do what everyone else has to do. Donald Trump is not going to testify. Donald Trump's going to throw us into a constitutional crisis. The odds are better than 50-50 that Sessions fires the prosecutor. There's a real good chance the next 3 months we're in a major constitutional crisis. Donald Trump's got a great big problem, and you need to figure it out. And he's making his great big problem everyone else's great big problem, and you better figure that out. Now, when you put those pieces together, it's really ugly out there. This is not going to end well for the markets. However it ends for Donald Trump, that remains to be seen. But as far as the market's concerned, you are on the verge of the biggest market meltdown ever. You're on the verge of a recession that will turn into a Trump depression. You're on the verge of massive defaults in debt and all kinds of structured debt. You're on the verge of a banking crisis. Now, you can worry about this thing and be stupid, or you put the pieces together and turn this into the biggest payday ever. Donald Trump's wipeout is your great success. Donald Trump's collusion, lack of collusion, deep state, restate, Hillary, all that bullshit, it's nothing but a show and go. It's just noise to take the heat off. But you can turn it into money. Donald Trump is not going to survive this unscathed. The U.S. economy is already in a tailspin. We're already heading into a recession. Fed's already raising rates. Yield curve is flattening, and it will flip. Dollar crisis is upon the world. The dollar's getting higher and higher and higher. It's collapsing businesses. It's making debt unpayable. It is collapsing our export sales. Look, we are losing from a business standpoint on every front. You got to figure this out. Trump's out of control, and the crazy shit he's doing will, for sure, collapse the economy. You know, it's not like a mystery. We've been through the Great Depression, and it was brought on by a stock market collapse. It was brought on trade wars. What's different this time?